verb phrases, active and passive. We all know what verbs are. The difficult part comes when and how to use them in a sentence. And that is the reason why it is so important to learn how to use them correctly and how to structure your sentences correctly. In this presentation, we're going to talk about difference of active and passive form, and then I'm going to go over some of our slides. First, we're going to talk about the difference between active and passive, how to find agent and patients, changing a sentence from active to passive to active, the 5 main times when to use passive and passive without agent. The difference between active and passive form. First, let me give you some examples of how to use passive and active. The dog ate the steak, and the steak was eaten by the dog. The two sentences describe the same action, and in both sentences the steak gets eaten by the dog. The difference is not the action, but the point of view of the action. In the first sentence, the dog is the main character, but in the second sentence we see the steak's point of view. The verb in the first sentence is in active form. You can really hear how ate is kind of straightforward. Then in the second sentence where eaten, it's kind of more. It's a more passive word. Another way to figure out if a sentence is in passive form is the usage of to be in a sentence. In the second sentence, was is present, and that is the supporting verb. Finding agents and patients. To find out who is causing something and who is suffering something, you have to find the agents and patients in a sentence. When finding agents and patients, you ask who is doing something. When finding patients, you ask who is suffering something. For example, the government took our children away. You can see that the government is the agent because they are doing something where the children are suffering. Another example could be Steve Biko was murdered in a prison by the police, where the police are doing something and it's happening to Steve Biko. And you can see that it doesn't matter if agents or patients is in whatever order. The way of finding out if a sentence is in active form is in the way the subject plays its part. If the subject is agent, then the sentence is active. But if the subject is patients, the sentence is passive. Let's look at the sentence again. We can see here, the dog ate the steak. Ate is the agent, which means that the sentence is active. How to change a sentence from being active to being passive by switching the order the agent and the patient comes in. We're going to look at our first example again. The dog ate the steak, and the steak was eaten by the dog. You can see that in the first line here, the steak is at the end of the sentence, but here it's at the beginning, and the same is seen with the dog. The 5 main times. You have present, past, perfect, pluperfect, and future. In present, active is I shoot, and passive is I am shot. Past, I shot, and in passive, I was shot. Perfect, I have shot, and passive, I have been shot. Pluperfect, I had shot, I had been shot. Future, active, I will shoot, and passive, I will be shot. Well, let's look at our second to last slide. It's about passive without agent. In some sentences, agent isn't necessary to mention because when we read the sentence, we can see it in the connection of the sentence. You can also choose to leave out the agent if you want to focus on another situation. Yeah, our last slide. When to use passive form. You rarely use passive form when speaking, and it's usually not seen in written assignments such as essays and articles, though it can be seen in scientific articles and in law. This video was created by Sebastian and Mads. Thank you for listening.